the Viking Boys podcast. I'm your host, Jackson Pepper, and today we have Cade with us. Today we'll be talking about March Madness and Selection Sunday that just took place. First things first, I'd like to start off with a fun fact. 1 in 9.2 quintillion chance that you make a perfect bracket this time around. So,
it's my year.
Seems. Okay. Yeah. I like your confidence there, sir. Another thing is some news that's been happening. West Virginia is not in the tournament. And they're suing the NCAA. Yeah. Which I don't know what they're...
It's that extreme, huh?
I guess so. And we'll maybe take a look at the saved TikTok later. Okay. So, we'll start off with, who do you think is the best team in the tournament? We have some good 1 seeds here. Obviously, right here we have the bracket. But yeah, what's your opinion? Who's the best team?
For me, it's between Florida and Duke.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're both just stacked.
Mm-hmm.
They can beat you in so many ways, and yeah. But my sleeper, I really like St. John's.
Okay. Obviously, Florida just won the SEC, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Alabama by almost 30. That was an interesting game. Duke, obviously, we can see their record up here as 31-3. I know one of their losses is to Clemson. ACC's pretty good. The SEC is probably the best conference right now.
They got 14 teams in this tournament.
Right. Obviously, Duke. We'll get down here to Duke a little later on. But I was watching some videos earlier this week. I saw some interesting picks. Obviously we have the stats of who beats who. I saw someone over here in this, what is this bracket? I don't know which side of it is. But someone picked Akron over Arizona.
I don't hate it.
22-12, not a bad record for Arizona. Akron 28-6. And the reason being, this person said, I can't remember who it was, but they said because Akron is a high scoring team, So high scoring teams you score a lot of points, you have a good chance to win. Not something I would probably pick.
Yeah,
but I could see. Another pick I saw was in the same side of the bracket was Montana over Wisconsin. Montana's not a bad team. The Big Ten's, what do you think about that? Big Ten.
They're pretty solid.
It's
probably third best conference.
Yeah, but it's a little down, I've heard.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's a good team.
Solid.
They're bigger than Montana, but Wisconsin still isn't that big,
Yeah.
I can't remember who I picked. I think I picked Montana, just close to home kind of, I guess, But then I picked BYU over them the next game.
Yeah, I have Wisconsin coming out of that.
Okay.
Easily.
Okay. And who let's see here next. Oh, the West Coast Conference. Gonzaga and St. Mary's. Probably the closest conference to us, obviously. Let's look at who is Gonzaga playing. Georgia. What did you think about that match?
I think they get past Georgia, and they've made 9 straight Sweet 16, so maybe they could get past Houston and make it 10. It's not going to be easy, but
yeah.
I picked that in my bracket.
You picked Gonzaga in the Sweet 16?
Yeah,
might
be biased, but...
And then we have another team, obviously, St. Mary's. 7 seed, so they're playing the lower seed. What do you think there?
I have them losing in the first round. Vandy.
Interesting. Vandy's they're a SEC team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're playing in probably the hardest conference for college basketball right now.
Still got 20 wins to their name.
Yep. St. Mary's still isn't a bad team though. They beat Gonzaga
Twice.
Yeah.
But
Didn't they lost in the championship, right?
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, and Gonzaga's only an 8 seed, so I mean they're not that far off from seeding.
Yeah.
If so, say these were switched. What if St. Mary's was playing Georgia and Gonzaga was playing Vandy?
I think Gonzaga gets past Vanderbilt. St. Mary's. That'd be a good game. Against Georgia.
What conference is Georgia? Are they SEC as well?
Yeah, they're SEC.
Okay, so they're both playing SEC teams, which is interesting. Okay, next we have Florida. No, second number 1 seed. Or is it the 4th number 1 seed?
I think it's second.
Right. Okay. Well, no matter what, 1 seed, 30-4, won the SEC. They have a top 10 offense in college basketball, but they also have a top 10 defense.
Yeah, they can beat you in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. They got that Walter Clayton.
Mm-hmm.
He's a beast.
I saw a video. That step back is indeed nasty. Okay. Not much. I mean, they're a good team. I don't think they're going to lose this first round. I think they're the 1-16 that you could bet on Florida.
Yeah.
Who did you have winning your tournament?
I had Florida in 1 and Duke in 1.
You said you made 3.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
I think it was St. John's.
Okay. Now we get back to the Duke. Top 5 offense, top 5 defense in college basketball. I know we're talking about teams here, but we're going to have to talk about Cooper Flagg, obviously. Number 1 rated college basketball player. If he's healthy, they could easily win every game by 30 points. So I think, that's interesting.
He's ridiculously good.
Yeah.
And even if he's not clicking, they still have Con Canoopol, that 7'4" guy.
Malawa, I think that's his name.
And they got Tyrese Proctor, who's been here before.
Right. Experience still.
Yeah.
So we were talking about their 31-3 record. I don't think did I write anything. I don't think I wrote anything about this team, but we'll take a look over here in this section of the bracket. We have Michigan and UC San Diego.
That's my favorite upset.
You picked UC San Diego?
I love UC San Diego.
It's interesting because I also picked UC San Diego.
And I also have them beating Texas A&M in the second round.
See, a 30-4 record is interesting. As a mid-major school in a decent conference, Division I is Division I basketball. They are 30-4, which is we're looking here, most wins in that section, I believe. Yep. Auburn with 28. So yeah, I also picked UC San Diego over Michigan, and my dad thought I was crazy for that.
Another upset I have in that region.
Let's take a look.
Tonight, actually, North Carolina plays San Diego State. I have North Carolina winning that and then beating Ole Miss.
We'll get down there, I think. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just go to it. So you say UNC is beating SDSU and then beating Ole Miss. See, I've heard some things that if UNC is the team that gets in, obviously they didn't get into it last year, right? I'm pretty sure. I don't think they were in it.
I don't think they were.
And then they also denied the NIT invitation. I'm pretty sure. That's what I heard.
I think that was 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure they were in it last year.
Okay. Well, team that is usually very dominant.
Yeah, they had a down year
A lot
this year.
of changes happening in college basketball with the NIL and all that stuff. Teams don't go. But yeah, I also picked that upset over Ole Miss. Next thing, Iowa State. We're in here. Still, where are they at? Right here, over Lipscomb. 24-9. What are they in?
They're in the Big 12.
Okay. So I saw a video that Iowa State. He said they were frauds.
Yeah, I don't like Iowa State. I think they can get past
Lipscomb, but if UNC is that team,
I think they can take them down.
yeah, I do too. I agree. I don't think they're frauds per se, because they're 3 seed in this. They were top 25, right, all season.
All year.
So, and for the majority of the season, top 5. No, I thought they were number 3 seed.
They were at one point, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, top 25, obviously. Yeah, so I think they can get past this first game. 3-14. So next we have Tennessee. I know this is your team. This is your team.
Tennessee.
It's your team. They're down here playing Wofford, 2-15. They have the number 1 defense in college basketball right now. Now they struggle offensively, which could be something that hurts them. Where did you have them going?
I got them going to the Elite 8.
Okay.
I actually have Clemson making it to the Final Four in this one.
One of their wins is versus the number 1 seeded Duke.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Looking at this here, too, we didn't look a lot at. We just looked at the Gonzaga and Georgia game. What about this Texas Xavier game? That's tomorrow. Oh, no. UNC's tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Texas Xavier. But did you pick them over Illinois?
No, I took Illinois. I think they can beat either one of those teams.
Okay. I know. Xavier's there in with Creighton and
Yeah, Big East.
yeah. So not a bad league. Good league.
Pretty good league.
Texas is
SEC.
yeah. So good team obviously. You can't see their record. But I picked Texas and Xavier over the Illinois, but 1 in 9.2 quintillion chance. So anything could happen. Obviously, the most experienced team in college basketball. No, obviously, I've heard some things. I think they are.
Drink?
Watching. No, Kansas.
Oh.
21-12, kind of not as good of a record
Yeah, they struggled this year.
for a powerhouse school like them. UCLA, just a stat for you for them. They force a turnover 1 out of every 4 possessions. So that's some good defense right there.
What's their defense ranked?
I didn't get to that, but I do know turnover every 1 of 4 is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty.
22-10. They're in the in with Arizona, right? Am I right? They're not the Big West or the West Coast.
Yeah, they're in the Big 12.
Right. Part of that.
No, they're in the Big 10 with Oregon and
Michigan and them.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Utah State, not a bad team. This is a 7 versus 10. I think not a lot of people know about Utah State, I don't think. So,
Yeah,
pick an experienced UCLA.
they beat Gonzaga too earlier in the season,
Mm-hmm.
so they've proven
Yeah.
they can beat.
22-10 isn't a bad record at all. But now we're getting to Drake. Did you have them winning versus
I
Missouri?
did have them winning the first round,
Okay,
but Texas
that
Tech,
is good.
they're really good.
If they weren't playing somebody like Texas Tech, I might have them going to the Sweet 16. 30-3 record is pretty good. So they have the conference MVP on their team from the MBE league, I think. I don't know what the league is, but they have the conference MVP. So their coach is a D2 coach, first year this year at Drake. 4 titles, the Division II level, and brought most of his players from Division II. So they know each other. So they play some good basketball.
I mean, obviously you can see they've won 30 games.
Yeah.
I don't know who they lost to, but they only got 3 losses. So.
Yeah. I think I was looking at their record. They might have lost to a team in their league. I don't know what school that was. I can't remember. But Missouri's also a pretty good team as well.
Mm-hmm.
If they weren't playing Missouri, it'd be interesting, like, to see them in a different part of the bracket. We obviously already talked about UNC. All these teams. So, I mean, I have a lot more to talk about. I think St. John's, I made a bracket for my advisory. Had St. John's winning.
I love St. John's, man.
Yeah. Rick Pitino, good coach.
They play with some fire.
Yeah, some dog. What about this Louisville Creighton?
I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I picked Creighton. Louisville's an SEC team, but I like that big dude for Creighton.
Kalkbrenner.
Yeah, he's good.
I picked Louisville.
Okay, not a bad pick. You could really go any way. What about this Marquette, New Mexico State?
I picked New Mexico in that one.
Okay, Marquette's an experienced team. I've seen that they like to do some selling as well as so we'll see how that goes. They're a good team though, obviously. Michigan State, Kellen Carr,
Yeah, that guy's
favorite player in college basketball probably.
That's crazy.
He can jump. What about UConn? Oklahoma.
That's gonna. I mean, I'm not gonna count. I'm not gonna bet against Dan Hurley and Barge,
Right.
but
They have to play
have
Florida.
Yeah, they do.
They have to play Florida, so you can really go any way. I'm picking Florida.
Yeah.
Colorado State is a good team, and Memphis. I think if Colorado State wasn't playing a good team like Memphis, that would be a good game though.
Yeah.
GCU won their conference. Maryland's is a Big Ten school though.
I like GCU, but it sucks I have to play Maryland.
Yeah.
They got Derek Queen, who's
He's a freshman, right? Came from Montverde
Yeah.
with Cooper Flag.
Mhm.
Talked about most of this. What about this one right here? Kentucky and Troy. I saw a TikTok. A dude scrolled straight to the bottom of the bracket and picks Troy.
Yeah. I mean, Kentucky's kind of known for losing early on now. I do think they can get past Troy, but I'd take Illinois over Kentucky.
Oregon, local-ish, I guess. You like Oregon Ducks. You picked them versus Liberty, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
I also picked them over Arizona.
I did too.
But then they're going to have to play Duke, the ACC champions in Duke. So,
They're going to be hard to stop, Duke.
Yes. Especially if Coop Flag is healthy.
Even without them, they won the ACC title.
By 20. I'm sure it could have been a 40-point game but from there. But do you want to check out these TikToks? I know they're about 20 minutes.
Sure.
Okay. Let's look at them real quick. One, I saw a dude predict the champions. Was an interesting take. And some historic stats. So you want to check out the historic stats of the champions.
Let's do the historic stats.
Okay. Since 2013, at least one 5 seed or lower has made the Final Four each year.
I got Clemson in mind.
They have beat, again, the ACC champions Duke. Since 2004, only 2 teams have won the tournament without blue as their main color. 2 teams since 2004. Everybody else has had blue in their jersey. Is St. John's, Auburn, all these teams cursed now? I don't know.
Auburn's got blue.
And actually, one of those, is it their main color though? Yeah, it is, right? That navy, that dark navy. Yeah. Obviously, one of those being last year, Purdue lost. UConn won, right? Anyways,
Baylor's one of them when they beat Gonzaga.
Oh, yeah. And Gonzaga had blue, so made it to the championship. Since 2011, 11 seeds are 26 and 26 against 6 seeds. So
we got Missouri, Drake, Ole Miss, San Diego, North Carolina.
11. What's the 11-6 over here? It's Illinois, Texas, Xavier, and this one's BYU, VCU. VCU is a SEC team, right? No,
they're a mid-major.
Oh, okay. Anyways, a 15 seed has made the Sweet 16 in each of the last 3 seasons. 15 seeds this year are
Bryant, Omaha, Wofford,
and Robert Morris. This might be the year that there isn't one.
Yeah, I don't see it happening this year.
Alabama, Tennessee, St. John's, and Michigan State are all very good teams. Michigan State might even be the worst one out of those 4. They did lose their tournament to Michigan, obviously.
Yeah.
Anyways, in the past 15 years, no defending champion has advanced past the Sweet 16. But I don't know if that's true or not because
UConn went back to back.
Right. Interesting.
I don't think they're going to get to the Sweet 16 this year, though.
No, not having to play Florida. No team has ever won it all after losing its first game in the conference tournament. I don't know how that one works because if you lose your first game in the conference tournament, aren't you out?
No, they use a lot of the regular season
records. Okay, that's a good fact. Since 2000, only once has the Final Four included 3 1 seeds. And that was in 2015. I don't know who those teams were, but I'm assuming 10 years ago they were the powerhouses of Duke, Kentucky, Kansas, maybe something like that.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Those blue bloods.
Mm-hmm. And that's interesting. Blue schools right there. Only once. Last year was the first championship game since 2014 without any 1 seeds. So that's 9 years, I believe.
That was 2 years ago. Because last year UConn
was a 1 seed. That was last year because this has a picture of Zach Edey on it. But so that's 9 years without any 1 seeds, which is interesting because these teams are Duke. Everybody's almost thinking that's impossible that they don't make the championship. Teams like Auburn or Florida, even Houston's is still a good team.
Auburn's kind of fallen apart. They've lost
3 of the last 4.
Yeah, I don't think they can make it to the Final Four.
Right. Playing some of these tough teams. There's going to be someone in here that can beat them.
Yeah, that has to be.
The other TikTok was the championship, who they think, and he determined it would be Florida, based off of Ken Palm rankings, defensive, offensive stuff. I saw some trapezoids of excellence, obviously Duke's all the way at the top, but interesting this year. College basketball is getting more and more spread out with the NIL and stuff like that. So
the conference realignment.
Anyways, So we're gonna have to call it on that. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for the next episode. As always, dominate the day.